Hi everyone, Joy here from Chicks and Tips from MD Outdoors, and today we've got a special guest on our show, which is Kyle. So Kyle is also known as BareKiwi if you are big on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, any social media channel. So great to have you here, Kyle. Thanks so much for joining us.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, and kia ora everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so today we thought we were going to talk to you a bit about using a GoPro if you're out capturing your own adventures. We've got our Nelson Adventure Film Festival coming up, which is really exciting, and Kyle's one of our awesome judges for the festival. So we wanted to chat a bit more about getting started using a GoPro if you're going out there and shooting your own adventures and how we do that. So before we start, Kyle, you've been using a GoPro for how long?
Yeah, this is, basically GoPro was one of my first proper video cameras.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I sold my first 2 whitewater boats. It was a heartbreaking moment. Sold them, brought a GoPro, it was like one of the first original GoPro Hero 1s. And that, with the Manuka pole and some duct tape, that's been my evolution to a GoPro.
And then you upgraded to a selfie stick.
Yeah, upgraded. Finally got a selfie stick, tried them all out. Sold that, upgraded to a Hero 2, to a Hero 3, to a Hero 3 Plus, and then eventually started getting spotted by GoPro and was sort of sponsored and went with GoPro from the Hero 4 on.
Okay.
And yeah,
it?
Yeah, so it's been a long time and a big journey for GoPro for me. And now I part of GoPro family members, and then also now I sit on this. It's a really terrible name, but GoPro Guru.
Ooh,
yeah,
you're a guru.
I know it's such a weird name, but hey, thanks for calling it that, guys. And so part of there's about 10 or so of us around the world. So we're kind of like a Swiss Army knife for GoPro. So we have to do production, training, education, and just anything GoPro. So
that's cool.
Yeah, really happy to talk to you guys and help you get some awesome footage using one of these cool little cameras.
And your background, you've been in like photography, videography, you make lots of adventure films and showcase our amazing region.
Yeah, well, my background's actually been a tour guide. So I was originally a raft guide, so my first job was guiding in Murchison as a raft guide, and while you're the trainee guide, you do all the jobs the guides don't want to do, and so one of them was helping out and creating videos using
good.
And so that was shooting on a VHS. It's a big old camera. I know, I'm old. And
no comment.
Yeah. And so for me, that was my first time ever using videos and getting that endorphin, that buzz for a like, and was actually watching clients watch themselves on TV. And sort of creativity came from there. And so other ideas, what if I get low? What if I get high? Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And so through that and the outdoors and becoming a tour guide, working in the Able Tasman, worked in Canada and Japan, different countries, having a camera. I had one of those point and shoot, like disposable cameras, 24 rolls of film.
It was so good.
Yeah. And you make every shot count. And so for me, that was my life, and it evolved and grew from there. And I started shooting, and it became more and more serious. That my photos became brochures. It started to evolve and grew, and then I wanted to move into video, which is when I bought the GoPro, and it's sort of grown from there. And now, I travel the world and make videos on a GoPro.
Living dream.
Just dreaming. Just dreaming. How's that?
So good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've got a few GoPros that we've got in today. But it would be really cool just to chat a bit about, I guess, like why, if someone's like, I want to get a camera and I want to go out and shoot stuff, just like why would you pick a GoPro? What do you like about it?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that the GoPro is the gateway drug for cameras. Yeah, it's one of the first cameras for especially anyone in the outdoors. It's one of the first cameras that most people shoot with, or see one of their mates shooting with, and learn from there. And then it is a fantastic camera in that sense. And once you learn how to actually use it, man, you can achieve so much more than you actually think. Not just putting it on your head and shooting with it. Why I love GoPro is more than just a camera. It's actually a family. It was created by this guy called Nick Woodman. He's just a surfer in California who literally had this dream of getting out into the waves and getting cool photos of his mates. at the time, the only ways he could get photos to surfers were there's pros on the beach with a big lens.
Yeah.
They'd take photos. He'd come back into the beach. They'd hassle you. Got a photo. So he's like, oh, if I can get out there. And it was literally one of those putting a disposable wrist, a film camera on his wrist and going out there and going pro was how it came about.
That's fun.
And so the ethos behind GoPro is get out there and have some fun, create atmosphere. And so GoPro is like one of the only camera brands that I know that's actually out there encouraging people to put the camera down. And so it all comes around accessories of like, how can you just have this camera sitting here and enjoy the moment? Because
instead of thinking I've got to hold a camera.
Yeah, and they pay you to shoot right now. You can submit any of your footage right now. They pay up to $500 US for a photo or $1,000 for a video. And so they're supporting creators. They've been supporting creators from the beginning on how to get out there and do that. And working with athletes, encouraging amazing, beautiful things and moments out there. And so that's why I really like it. I think it's a really cool brand to be associated with, work with, and support. So.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that's how it started.
Yeah, pretty random, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So if you're like, great, I'm going to buy myself my first GoPro and I've never used one before. Do you have any tips for just getting started using a GoPro? Like, are there resources out there, or do you just point and shoot and hope for the best?
You definitely do not point and shoot and hope for the best. I think
that's why I'm going wrong.
I know. No, you're not going wrong. I think one of my biggest tips is if you're going to go out there and do this stuff, you're going out there to do it. Go and have some fun. So one big thing and key element, especially in the adventure sport world, is if I'm going out to ride a mountain bike, I'm going out to ride a mountain bike. If I'm going out to shoot, I'm going out to shoot and ride. So it's like figuring out the difference between it, because there are so many amazing mountaineers, so many amazing rock climbers, so many incredible athletes doing amazing things that we don't know of. But the ones that you see on YouTube, the ones that I work with, the ones that we hear about are the ones who actually know how to work a camera and do that sport.
Mm.
And so they might not necessarily be number one, but they know how to tell their story.
Yeah.
And so it is this big struggle of like, are you actually climbing the mountain if you take your camera with you? But I don't know. I have always enjoyed taking a camera with me. So it's going out there with the intent to shoot. And it doesn't matter what camera you have. You could have one of the earliest GoPros. You could have one of the greatest, newest, updated versions. But actually going out there with an idea that, hey, I'm going out to shoot and working with your mates on it. Photography, videography has always been this nerdy thing. I'm the biggest nerd. I'm such a nerd. And it's always been the nerds that have always made the videos. And somehow social media has made us cool. Very uncool. Yeah, I know. It's very uncool.
I'm not really laughing at you.
Yeah.
You're cool.
But it's actually trying to get your mates on that. Hey, look, we're going to create a video. We're going to do this ride. You know, maybe it's going to be, we're going to do this trail right now and we're going to film it. We're going to stop and start and get lots of different angles. Yeah. And that's the cool thing about it. It's storytelling, but also the angles. And the cool, great thing that I love about GoPro is it comes with all these different little mounts and accessories that we can put them into fun cool places. Yeah. And so I was just at the Kiwi Enduro the other day, filming that, and I'm able to mount a GoPro on the front forks. I'm able to put a GoPro on a tiny little drone. I'm able to put a GoPro on someone's helmet, someone's chest, someone's bike looking back at them. I'm not going to do that with my, I shoot with Panasonic Limits. I'm not going to put that on someone's bike. Yeah. You know, so there's this fun thing that you can mount up in different places. You're a paddleboarder, like you do the most amazing content, and so you know you can put it on your paddle, you can put it down on your board, you can, and it creates these.
I do this one with the flip, put it on a paddle.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and so that's the idea behind the GoPro, is that it is a camera that you can take with you and put it into stupid, dumb, awesome places and get the shot.
So be like super creative, lots of different angles as you're trying out and experiment.
Yeah, it's all about experimenting. I think my biggest tip in any filmmaking or video storytelling is put all your energy into the first video and know that it's going to bomb, and then just do it again, and then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again tomorrow, and then do it again tomorrow, and every time you keep making that same video or a do something else. You know, go for a mountain bike today, make a video on that.
Mm.
Then do the same ride again tomorrow, make a video on that. And the videos are going to be so different, and you're just going to keep learning and learning new tricks and stuff like that. Yeah,
that makes sense. The more you shoot, right, the more you learn from. That was a cool angle, and that worked really well.
100%. Yeah.
And then, do you just go with your presets?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm so sorry.
Where do you find the
Yeah.
information?
So I'll definitely, guys, I'm gonna tell you some of my favorite settings, and Joe's gonna put them in the description down below.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely have my go-to settings. So I have a bunch of go-to settings that I love. But something that I really like to do is play around with the light. So we've got always different lighting. So we'll go back to the Cable Bay Enduro, for example. You go to Cable Bay Adventure Park, and you've got in this dark forest to bright light. You've got all these different conditions. So it's being able to, can I change the camera or set it up so that it can move between different parts? And so one of my favorite things is actually playing around with this. In the GoPro, you have all the manual settings, and there's one mode in there that people don't play around with most, and that is EV comp.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, it's essentially what you're doing there is you're able to change the lighting. So we're changing the lighting in your camera. We're not changing the frame rate, and we're not changing the ISO.
Okay.
And so essentially what you're doing is you're putting sunglasses on your camera. So I always like to dial it down like -0.5 or -1. And the reason for that is quite often with the GoPro, you get what I call the GoPro blowout effect. So you might pull your camera out of the water, bring it up, and everything behind you goes,
yeah,
while the camera's trying to work out the light. And so by dumbing that down just a little bit, bringing it down 0.5, 0.1, you're really squinting. You're essentially squinting the camera. And so I will experiment with that quite a bit when I'm shooting. If the light starts dropping and it starts getting lower, I'll start bumping that up. And that way I'm not adjusting the frame rate, and I'm not putting ISO, you're putting more noise into the image. This is a really beautiful way to play around with the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we can obviously share the different settings that Kyle likes, but then you've also got loads on your YouTube as well, haven't you, that people can find if you want other resources around it.
Yeah, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I do YouTube tutorials. I love it as well. Try and post stuff on my Instagram as well. And then, but I also just enjoy it when people reach out to me and ask me settings, because every GoPro model is slightly different.
Okay.
Something that I'm really loving about now with the new Hero 13, well, from the 11 on with the new sensor, is we have the 8:7 ratio. So what you're watching right now is 16:9.
Yeah.
Then you got your 9:16 for the kids out there. Then you got Then you got your 1:1 and your 4:3. Now 8:7 is all of this.
Okay.
So you're shooting as wide as these cameras shoot in a giant big square. And so I will shoot everything in 8:7, knowing that at one shot I can now edit it this way, this way, this way, this way.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that. So, like, if you want something for social media and then for YouTube, it's all different dimensions.
Yeah. So there are a few times when I will end up shooting in like a different ratio or something like that, and that might come down to the frame rate that I'm shooting at. So if I'm like wanting to shoot 4K 120, I might bring it down like that. We're talking slow motion high.
Okay.
And that would be like brought it down into 16:9, your YouTube format. But then if I want to, I'm always worried if I want to take that into a reel, then I will need to turn the camera sideways.
Okay.
If I know that's where it's going, but I never know where it's going, so that's where I stick with the 8:7, and then you can do 5.3K in 30 frames per second, or 8:7, 4K 60 frames per second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I was always going like turning my camera portrait.
Yeah.
But then it messes with it being wide, and it's suddenly like distorting it.
Yeah.
A bit too much.
Yeah.
Portrait.
Yeah, just try that 8:7 ratio and see what you think.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. As far as I'll play around with that, and then I'll actually open it up and I'll play around with that EV comp as well. And I might lift it or lower it depending on the lighting.
What's the biggest question that people tend to ask you that kind of bought GoPro?
Can I have a sniffer?
Or the biggest mistake or
so the number one question that people always ask me with GoPro, so hey, I just got a GoPro, how do I make my footage look like yours?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Yeah. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So most people don't turn on their Pro Tune and they stay in what's called easy mode.
Okay.
And so I have made a video about shooting in easy mode on YouTube, and so go watch that. There's some really cool things in there. You can get star trails, you can do all these amazing things literally just by pushing the top button.
Yeah.
But the color and everything isn't in there.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And so then that comes down to editing, and that's the post-production. So I use GoPro Quik at it a lot for stories, for reels and stuff like that. But when it comes down to, say, a big project, like, say, with this film festival or something like that, then I would be using Adobe Premiere Pro.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that's when you get bloody and expensive and scary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And better for color grading and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then when you go, so you've gone out and you've shot all this cool footage and you want to put it on your desktop or on your phone, tablet, maybe not phone or tablet for you, but do you have any tips for like how to quickly sort through all the content? Because sometimes that just takes forever.
Yeah.
Like, do you download it all or do you just like take snippets and stills? Like, how do you do it to be like effective?
There is no secret sauce for this. I'm so sorry, I'm going to break your heart.
No.
There is no secret sauce, guys.
Yeah.
Shoot with intent. You mountain bikers, put it on, stop it at the bottom. Give it a few seconds though at the end. But what I do is at the end of the day, I try and keep my clips short. I download them all to an external hard drive. I keep everything. I'm very, meticulous on how I look after it. And I'll put it in there, and then if it's a fun adventure that I've done today and I know I'm just going to edit on my phone, I'll download all the clips there and I'll actually let Quik make the edit for me.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
try that.
Yeah. So I'll just download them to my phone, let Quik make an edit. I did one on the Coppermine.
Yeah.
If you jump on my Instagram, scroll back a little bit, you'll see an edit on the Coppermine. There was actually one I went out with Moana paddleboards. Jumped on there with a bunch of kids and we all went out on this big giant paddleboard.
Yeah.
And so those videos there, that was a scary one because the kids got the GoPro and went crazy with this. I'm like, oh no, I'm looking, there's like 14-minute long videos. I'm like, really? How did that happen? So sometimes I'm like, do I delete it or do I leave it in there? Just downloaded them all, push play. Quik made a video for me. It's never perfect. Sometimes it is, but all I did then was just go through, move a few highlights around, change a few things. Check out my Instagram. I've actually made a whole video about how to use GoPro Quik. It's a really fun tool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Super, super clever. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That saves time.
There you go.
Thank you. And then I have another question for you, which is, because GoPro creates like so many different accessories to make shooting really fun and get lots of angles. What if you were like, oh god, there's so many, they're not the cheapest, you've got to invest in them, and I'm getting started, like what one would you like?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one because you buy a GoPro, then you realize you need something to hold it.
Yeah.
Honestly, Manuka pole and a bit of duct tape, you'll be right. Yeah, just something that makes it float. I feel like the floaty handler is probably one of the best initial go-to.
Yeah.
It's a perfect, you can just hold it, you can travel around, you can travel with it just as a selfie stick. It doesn't extend, but it does float. GoPros don't float, so that's a really good one.
I know, I've lost one.
Yeah.
How about you lost one too?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that very much. But something else that I really love is this guy here, the extension pole.
Oh, okay.
The extension pole is actually my favorite. A, because it just folds up nice and small.
Yeah.
And then B, you got this nice big long pole.
That's a good one.
And then I can just put my GoPro on there and I'm good to go.
Yeah, because they're magnetic, aren't they?
They are magnetic on the bottom and it's good. Yeah. So yeah, when it comes down to accessories is a really scary one. Everyone goes through this world when you first get a GoPro and you try all the Temu knockoffs and everything, and then you're going to actually spend more money in the long run.
Yeah.
It's like buying a raincoat. You're going to buy all the cheap ones until eventually you end up on the expensive one.
And you buy the one from MD Outdoors.
Yeah. that you've spent the same amount of money
over time.
Yeah. So, but
and I've done that with GoPro accessories, and I've bought the TV versions.
Yeah.
And they don't quite fit, and then they break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to introduce a couple of other accessories that I really like. One that you won't share with your friends, but you're really cool, and it's this guy, the bike mount.
I won't try that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The bike mount's really cool because it's probably one of my most used. I do a lot of footage, like, you know, climbing, whatever. Like,
yeah,
you get a really nice POV. It's nice and steady. Your head's very stable, and it's a really cool little mount. It's interesting.
That's true. Yeah. So just sit like that.
Yeah. And then if you are getting into the selfie stick, but you're not too sure, this one's quite cool, which is the three-way. So you got another selfie stick here, but it's also a tripod. Yeah,
that's good.
Versatile, good for like bistro and stuff like that. So,
love it.
Yeah.
And is there anything? Because you know we've lost a few. I've broken one. Is there any tips for looking after your GoPros?
100%. Your GoPro is your baby.
Okay, tell me the tips.
Yeah, look after it. People often reach out to me and go, "Oh, my GoPro, you know, stopped working. Why?" And often it's because they haven't washed it. They haven't looked after it. So they go into the ocean and you just put it down and leave it there. Now, if you wash yourself after the ocean, wash your GoPro. Open up the little pegs, the integrated mounting fingers down here. Give them a wash out. Don't open the door. But something I actually do also like to do is I'll pop the lens off and give everything a wash. This is actually still waterproof like this, and then I'll just dry it out in the sun. It's just GoPro maintenance, and just looking after it. The door here, obviously, once it opens, you know, bad news. But be very careful, especially you surfers or anyone in the water, because quite often they'll change battery with a salty finger. Bit of water goes in there, and that's when you start getting salt water inside.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I think we've encountered that with you before.
Yes, I did have an issue with salt water on my GoPro.
But always rinsing them. I've just been down in Kaikolda as well, filming down there with Kaikolda kayaks. We had dolphins all around us. So this GoPro's gone in the water a lot down there. And every day I literally bring it back and I just put it in the sink and I just leave it for 5 or 10. And I take the top off, give it a good soak.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that's probably all we've got time for to chat to, although we could talk about this for so much longer. So is there anything else that you would like to share before we go? Anything that people tend to ask you or just go have fun?
Honestly, I think the best SD card that you have is this. It's your eyes and your brain, and use that. Whatever camera you have, it doesn't matter. But just use this. This is the most important part. Don't go out to these beautiful places and look through a camera. And that's why I do love shooting with GoPro. The amount of photographers and videographers I've seen who've never seen a sunset. People who've paid so much money to go to a concert and never saw their artist. All they saw was their phone. And it breaks my heart. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Get one of these, put it there, and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
That's it. Literally. Stop watching it through a phone or a camera. Like, live in the moment, enjoy it, shoot with intent, have a little idea in your mind. I want to create a really cool video about climbing Mount Arthur or something. Okay, I'm going to shoot that. Once you've done that, put the camera down and enjoy the rest.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, Kyle.
No worries.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. There's lots of useful little nuggets. I feel really inspired to go grab a GoPro. It's right here. And take it out and go capture some cool footage. So big thank you. We're so excited to see your entries to the Nelson Adventure Film Festival when they come through. And we had quite a few GoPro ones last year, so I'm sure we'll be getting a few more this year. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. That's all good. I love it. It's great. Cool. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.